We're here at JFK Airport. We're getting ready to board our flight. We're headed to Miami first for a layover and then to our final destination of Montevideo, Uruguay. We're going to be taking you guys with us, showing you the ins and outs, ups and downs of our whole journey, show you where to eat, where to hang out, what beaches to go to, meet lots of locals, get advice from them, basically show you everything you'd want to know if you were going to Uruguay. So stay with us. We're going to take you everywhere we go. After traveling for about 14 hours, we touched down at Carrasco International Airport in the capital city of Montevideo. Hey everybody, so we've arrived after a super long day of travel. We're here in a neighborhood called Carrasco, and we are headed to Santa Lucia del Este, which is where we'll be staying for about the next week or so. We'll show you guys our travels, and then once we get there, we'll show you where we're staying, all our accommodations. So welcome to Uruguay. We are doing a short little pit stop here on our way from Carrasco to Santa Lucia, stopping at this bakery called Lavaipa. It is famous, we hear here, for its hot bizcochos, which is a Uruguayan pastry that's commonly eaten for breakfast or as an afternoon snack. The bizcochos at Lavaipa are so popular that they're constantly shuffling fresh ones out of the oven, arriving to you still warm. They also offer a variety of sandwiches, empanadas, sweets, cakes, and masitas, a popular Uruguayan pastry eaten for dessert on special occasions. Here are the bizcochos. So they separate them. Here we have the salty, savory, and then here we have our sweets. We're gonna dig in. Here we're gonna try una galleta dulce. As you can see, it's several layers. Oh my God, so good. Look at these. Oh my God. Get a little close up of that. These are stuffed with dulce de membrillo. Oh my God. It literally melts in your mouth. The dough is so flaky and moist. Delicious. Here's a sandwich that we got. Look at this. These are super common here. They're called sándwiches. Well, depending what's in them. This one would be considered a sándwich olímpico because of everything in it. It is ham, cheese, hard-boiled egg, lettuce, tomato, and it is on pan de miga. We got the whole wheat version, but they also have white bread as well. And this is just to die for. Look at those layers. We arrive in the early afternoon to Santa Lucia del Este to kick off the first official day of our vacation. Our extended family owns a summer house in this sleepy beach town, so it'll be our home base throughout our stay in Uruguay. We'll be here for the next couple of days for some much-needed family time before heading east for the second leg of our trip. About 45 minutes outside of Montevideo, Santa Lucia draws a smaller summer crowd than some of the busier resort towns further east. Santa Lucia is the type of balneario where locals know each other by name and have formed a tight-knit community that has lasted for generations. Its pristine coastline stretches for more than 2 kilometers and is mostly empty during the early afternoon, except for the occasional fisherman bringing in the daily catch of brotola or corvina. The uncrowded beach is also a playground for popular sports like surfing, volleyball, soccer, kite surfing, and tejo. Days here are spent going to the local market for fresh produce and drinking a late afternoon mate on the beach until the sunset splashes across the vibrant orange and yellow sky. The longtime tradition of asado is the perfect go-to on most summer nights when dinner doesn't begin until the late evening. In this style of grilling, leña starts the fire on one side of the grill, while the embers are raked across the bottom. This seasoned asador explains.
Eucalipto, que es una línea bastante fuleroski, pero
igual, nosotros sabiendo asar con cualquier
el
cosa.
que sabe asar hace con cualquier cosa.
Es muy bien. Esa.
Uruguayans grill it all, from short rib to vacío to chorizo, molleja, morcilla, y chinchulines. It all makes the perfect parrillada. The catch of the day also ends up on the grill, often smothered in butter and parsley and topped with fresh lemon. What is this? Oh my God. On our last night in Santa Lucia, we have family and friends over for an asado before leaving on our road trip the next day. After a good night's sleep, we wake up and head east toward the resort town of Punta del Este. On the picturesque road trip, we pass dozens of beachside paradores, as well as Playa Brava, where we see La Mano de Punta del Este, created by Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval. After going over the well-known Puente de la Barra, we stop for a late breakfast at Medialunas Calientitas found in this artsy district. The quirky spot is bold and colorful, with plenty of picnic-style outdoor seating and a unique indoor dining room. The croissants here are made fresh and can be stuffed with an assortment of hams and cheeses or sweet varieties filled with dulce de leche and drizzled with chocolate. We grab a few and head outside for our midday snack. Here we have a medialuna rellena with bondiola, which is like a cured pork shoulder, and also like a similar to cream cheese. And then these are freshly baked Uruguayan croissants, and then they're heated up. Let's see. So good. That saltiness from the pork, and then the creaminess of the cheese and the flaky buttery crust, and they serve them with Doritos. Who could go wrong with that? We head back into ritzy Punta del Este for our next stop at the local port found near the southernmost point of the country. The views are classic Punta del Este, but we're not stopping here. We grab a $12 ticket for a round-trip ferry to nearby Isla Gorriti, a small island just a few kilometers away on the Bay of Maldonado. We are headed out later in the day, so our boat is nearly empty for a 20-minute ride to the island that is supposed to be great for sunbathing, hiking, and exploring. We take in a view of the harbor and pull away from the coast. On the ferry, we learned you can also visit Isla de Lobos. Located about 8 kilometers offshore, the nature reserve is home to the largest colony of fur seals in South America, with more than 200,000. It also happens to be where you'll find the largest lighthouse on the continent. But on this sunny afternoon, we set aside a few hours to visit Isla Gorriti. We get a late start, docking on the island at 3 p.m. before finding out the last ferry leaves around 6:15. The primitive landscape is wild yet serene, and not exactly what we expected. Walking past the shore, we're greeted by signs that give important facts about the area. We take a trail toward the beach through a forest of tall eucalyptus trees dotted by short palms called butiajatais. There's lush vegetation all around us. As we make our way, the afternoon sunshine cracks through the trees and we feel transported to another place. Rich in history, Isla Gorriti was discovered in the 1500s and in its early decades was explored by the Portuguese, Spanish, Dutch, and English. Its strategic location incentivized the governor of Montevideo to fortify the island with defensive structures like the cannons that are still found there today. After some exploring, we head to Playa Honda, where there's a beachside restaurant that makes fresh smoothies, sandwiches, and other snacks. We make our way down to the beach where yachts are anchored just a few meters from nearby swimmers. If you're in the mood to splurge, chartering a boat for the day is definitely the best way to experience the island. There's also water sports available and chair and beach umbrella rentals. The water is for sure the clearest we've seen in Uruguay, and its cool temperature was super refreshing on this hot day. We spent most of our time in the water or sunbathing until we ran out of time. It actually turned out to be one of our favorite stops, and we can't wait to go back. After leaving the island, we drive back to the quiet, upscale neighborhood of La Barra to check out our hostel for the evening. We pull into Mundaka Hostel and instantly fall in love with the lively and artsy vibe of the place. The outside is awesome, and the inviting pool area is littered with colorful hammocks, small tables, and rustic lounge areas. We're a family of 4, so we rented a room with 2 sets of bunk beds and a private bathroom. For the price tag of $105 during high season, we were happy with the accommodations. They do offer a variety of room options, and ours was clean and tidy and exactly what we needed for a one-night stay. When we came to Mundaka, we were just looking for a place to crash for the night, but our stay was so pleasant that we ended up rebooking for a couple days later. It's a great spot to unwind and maybe even meet a few laid-back traveler friends. They have ping pong tables, a volleyball net set up in the back grassy area, cute nooks for reading or taking a nap, and of course, the pool. Simple and clean, it was a great bonus that isn't easily found at hostels. Mundaka really captures the art-driven bohemian feel that so many of Uruguay's balnearios are known for. The hostel is equipped with a small restaurant that doubles as a common area with a TV, couches, and a pool table. Not to mention the 4-legged concierge that welcomes every guest.
Handsome little guy.
After settling in, we're ready for dinner and in the mood for pizza.
Oh, here we are in a little town called Manantiales. It's a small little beach town close to Punta del Este in Barra. And we are here at what we were told is one of the best pizzerias in the Punta del Este area. It's called No Me Olvides. So they have really pretty outdoor seating. It's actually super chilly tonight, probably around like 65 degrees. That's not uncommon for summer nights here in Uruguay, especially by the beach. So we're gonna grab a seat.
Open until 4 a.m. on busy nights, we stopped by on a rainy weekday and were able to be seated right away. Groups of pizza lovers poured glasses of IPAs, as IPAs are called here, and snack on the small square portions of the thin crust pizzas. We're sat upstairs in an enclosed porch area that was bustling around 10 p.m. when we arrived. The smell of fresh dough was thick in the air as we took our seats and ordered a couple pizzas and a fresh-looking salad. We washed it all down with liters of Patagonia artisanal beer.
All right, so we're here at No Me Olvides. We just got our pizza. This is the large size for 2 to split. Look at that. You know it's a good cheese pull when you have to cut it off yourself. So good, super thin crust. The cheese is so flavorful, the sauce is amazing. 2 thumbs up, love it.
Today we are heading to nearby Jose Ignacio, known for its wild beaches, trendy restaurants, and serene atmosphere. We're spending the night at La Posadita, where we met the friendly owner who built the place by hand over the past few years. The boutique hotel marries together rustic decor with modern touches that give it its upscale beachy look. The outdoor space includes family-style seating and a fully stocked parrilla, perfect for a summer asado. We were impressed by the resort vibes and attention to detail. Everything was super clean, and we loved the layout of our room, which was small but comfortable and had cable TV in both bedrooms. We also have to mention that the shower here was the best we had our whole trip, and so was the service. After checking in, we head for a bite to eat and a walk around town with its many cafes and shops. After taking some Instagram-worthy pics, we stop at La Excusa for a late lunch. The interior looks like a hip coffee shop, where they offer several varieties of roasts and styles, as well as a small selection of pastries. The small cafe opens up to a spacious outdoor patio where the majority of seating is found. There's an outdoor kitchen that comes alive at night as diners can sit at the counter and watch fresh pizzas get thrown in the oven. There's also a garden lined with wooden booths and small lounge areas where you can sip on a cocktail from the back bar. We ordered a pita-style veggie sandwich and a salad with a vibrant beet puree and 2 sándwiches calientes that didn't disappoint. After lunch, we drive away from the coast into a more rural area of José Ignacio to check out local vineyard Bodega Oceanica. The landscape is dotted with modern sculptures that show the owner's appreciation for art, and the beautiful entrance leads way to dozens of acres of olive groves that produce 60,000 liters of oil per year. After driving past the scenic lagoon, we spot an hornero and pull over to get a closer look at its ornate nest made mostly of mud pellets. The birds are named after the Spanish word horno, since the dome-like nests resemble old wood fire ovens, and the curved design of the entryway is made to deter predators. Native to Uruguay, the bird and its unique nest are an emblem of the country. As for the winery, it's relatively new but definitely up and coming on the country's wine scene. Owned by young Uruguayan entrepreneurs, the almost 20 acres of vineyard produce several varietals, from Chardonnay to Tanat, but it's most prized for its Albarino. We just came for the views, but if you want a tour and tasting, make sure to book in advance. Dinner in Uruguay is fueled by split logs on a fire, and tonight's meal will be no different. We made reservations at Marismo, discreetly located in Las Arenas de José Ignacio. It's a type of place that's hard to find if you don't know what you're looking for. And what you're looking for is a wood-carved sign and a dimly lit sandy passage so secluded that you know you've picked the right spot for dinner. There's a deck that leads to a bar with tables, but the outdoor area on the sand is where you want to be. Sitting in the center of tall trees is a dining room of rustic wooden tables and chairs propped right up in the sand. The romantic atmosphere is lit by the stars overhead, with a little help from hanging lanterns and flickering candles, and of course the bonfire, sporadically stoked by waiters. It's a chilly night, so we're happy to snag a table right next to the warm fire and immediately order one of their most famous dishes, proboleta, expertly cooked in a brick oven until perfectly browned and bubbling. The Uruguayan variant of provolone cheese is seasoned with herbs and olive oil before being sliced tableside. The traditional Uruguayan appetizer is salty and crispy, giving way to the thick gooiness of the melty cheese inside. For entrees, we ordered house favorites, the lamb, corvina, and super tender chicken topped with lightly dressed greens and sliced radishes. All were delicious, but my favorite was by far the rich lamb with the crispy potato cake. We finished our meal with a dish of grilled fruits and homemade ice cream. We kicked off our second day in José Ignacio with early lunch reservations at one of the area's most well-known hotspots, Lucia. Nestled among the beach's wild sand dunes, it overlooks the crashing waves and sunbathers of Playa Brava. The crude walkway opens up to a deck area with a mix of couches and loungers, followed by an indoor dining room and a side deck with ocean views. Our lunch was great, but our favorite dish was definitely the squid, or chipirones, followed by the flavor-packed octopus a la plancha. After some Instagram snaps and a couple of outtakes, we head to nearby Playa Mansa. We're able to park relatively close to the entrance, dotted with high-end beach homes. Unlike Playa Brava, this beach is known for its calm waters. Today, we've come here seeking a relaxing afternoon, followed by what we're told will be a beautiful sunset. In Uruguay, it's common for beachgoers to head to the beach later in the afternoon when the sun is not as harsh. We hit the sand around 3 p.m. and the timing was perfect. I love that the beach wasn't crowded but still had amenities like bathrooms, food stalls, and vendors. Like this coffee vendor who spent years selling his cortados on this very beach. The coffee was bold and sweet and is probably mostly popular with tourists in the area. It was the perfect beverage for the breezier and cooler afternoon temperature. We stayed on the beach until the late afternoon when the sun tucked itself behind the ocean. It was the perfect end to our 2 days spent getting to know José Ignacio.